Vertical pass going to Samuels, right side of the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
A cutback. It's a sprint to the pylon. Touchdown, Matthew Day.
Go, take what you want. Are you ready to hit the club? Everything you got, man. Everything you got. You got to focus. You got to play with heart.
Here comes the rush. Hennessy throws, picked off by Fernandez at the 30-yard line.
How about that Wolfpack?
The Dave Doeren Show is presented by Coca-Cola. Any down can be the one that changes the game. So try the play where you go big on refreshment. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering and empowering the people and communities we serve. Your Carolina Ford dealers. Find a great deal on your perfect Ford. Make a connection today at your Carolina Ford dealer. And by Delta, official airline of NC State Athletics.
On Saturday, Carter Finley Stadium, it came down to who scored last, and that turned out to be Boston College. The Eagles get it in the end zone with less than 5 minutes to play, and then they hang on to beat NC State 21-14. I'm Tony Haynes with head coach Dave Doeren, and welcome to the Dave Doeren Show. It always happens on Sunday morning, Coach. You come in with your coaches, you review the tape. When you had a second chance to look at it from that perspective, what jumped out at you?
Missed opportunities, you know. When you play in a game like that where they control the ball the way they do, we knew that our possessions were going to be priceless on offense, and we had a couple scoring drives that we shot ourselves in the foot on, and obviously the one touchdown that came off the board with a formation penalty, and then later after Naheem's kickoff return to get down there again and come up with nothing on a turnover. Those two drives, you know, defensively fought hard throughout the game, had one long run that we can't have that hurt us, you know, a 60-yard touchdown run, but came up with you know, key takeaway after we turned the ball over, blocked the field goal, did some good things. You know, at the end of the game, I felt like our guys got out of what they were doing. They started looking in the backfield instead of covering their guys, and that got us on the halfback pass.
NC State now 4-4 on the season. Next up, a visit from Florida State next Saturday night at Carter Finley Stadium. Coming up, we'll preview that game. Also, we're going to break down the Boston College game further. In our Mic'd Up segment this week, we're going to put a mic on strength and conditioning coach D'Antonio Burnett and Mark Thomas on Pack Profile. He visits with quarterback Ryan Finley. More to come. This is the Dave Doeren Show.
Darling, I was made for you. Darling, I was made for you. The one thing that is true, darling, I was made for you.
My new friends went online and challenged me to find their perfect match. So, let's see how we did.
We look good together.
I think I'm in love.
Nice job, matchmaker.
Thanks.
With everything Ford has to offer, power and performance, smart technology, and 5-star safety, it's easy to see why Ford is America's favorite brand.
Now, get 0 for 72 on a well-equipped 2016 F-150 or Super Duty.
Make a connection at your Carolina Ford dealer today.
When my heart was failing, these are the hands that used the latest technology and research to save my life.
These are the eyes of my UNC Rex Heart and Vascular team who saw a solution for me when others did not.
These are the minds, hand-selected for their expertise, that saved my wife's heart when she was out of options.
And we are the hearts
that beat strong.
Because of UNC Rex.
Homecoming at Carter Finley Stadium, a beautiful day, a packed house, and it was a close game throughout. Boston College scores on a halfback option pass with under 5 minutes to play and then gets the 2-point conversion to beat NC State 21-14. And welcome back to the Dave Doeren Show. Coach, a couple of key stats from this game. Boston College held the ball for roughly 35 minutes, NC State for 20 minutes in the game. The Eagles had 78 offensive snaps compared to only 64 for the Wolfpack. Although it was early in the first quarter, were you a little concerned that the game was kind of trending in that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we talked all week about, kind of having the same game plan that we did against Wake Forest from a start fast standpoint and trying to get them into passing and not being able to run the ball and control the clock and sit in their huddle the way they did. And it played out the opposite early on. And, it was a close game, obviously, throughout the first half. But it's hard to get in a rhythm offensively when you're not driving the football and defensively when you're allowing them to extend drives. Even though they weren't getting touchdowns on them, they were extending drives and keeping the ball away.
And Boston College has a top 10 defense. It was tough sledding for the Wolfpack in the run game, only 31 yards on the ground. Game plans change throughout a game. You adjust. Take us through that process as you and Coach Drinkwitz, you were trying to get the run game going during the 4 quarters, because Matt Dace finally was able to break loose for a few runs in the third period.
Well, obviously we were taking some shots down the field, throwing it, but we didn't want to do that every down, and just trying to find some ways formationally to take advantage of where their numbers were and where they weren't. And we found a couple things, and then they adjusted, and just got to the point where we had to go score, and we're trying to get the ball down the field, which we did, and a couple nice deep balls. But we were not able to run the football for a variety of reasons, and the biggest one is when you don't win on the line of scrimmage, or if they put more people up there than you have blockers.
And, of course, that happened when you got down there late, down 21-14 at the 2-yard line. Yeah. What are the big challenges you face inside the 10, inside the 5, when you can't get a push in the run game?
Well, small windows to throw in, and very small. And so you need to be able to push the people and create a seam where you can get Matt through it, or come up with a scheme where you can get around their edges. And we tried both and didn't work on either one. We did get the one pass interference call and got a new set of downs, but weren't able to capitalize on that.
Of course, early in the fourth quarter, the fans were excited. 53-yard touchdown pass to Steph Lewis. It would have put the Pack up 21-13. Called back due to a penalty. Hypothetically, because of the way you wanted to play this game, how does that change this football game if you can get BC down 21-13?
Well, I mean, it's having a lead against them, where they're going to drop back and throw or run a draw or screen is different than ball control, play action, and being in 22, 23 personnel groupings with big tight end formations. So, that was a formation where the play before we lined up in a pro set, and Kelvin's off the ball and Cole is on the ball, and we called the exact same formation, and for whatever reason, Kelvin was on the ball. And he lined up properly the play before. I know he feels horrible about it, and he's a true freshman that made a phenomenal touchdown catch in the game. But, the play before, had he been on the ball, it wouldn't have been a penalty. It was a run.
Yeah. And the guy that really got you in that position, though, was Nyheim Hines.
He was.
56-yard kickoff return beyond the 50-yard line. On the day, Nyheim had probably his best day. 6 catches, 62 yards. Are you really encouraged by that?
I am, and, he practiced well the last 2 weeks. He's been fighting an ankle. Everybody knows that, and he's a true competitor and is willing to do as many things as he can to help the football team.
And Josh Jones, 15 more tackles. I mean, he's a tackling machine for NC State. He also had an interception in this football game. Are we at the point now where Josh Jones deserves an opportunity perhaps to land on one of the All-ACC teams?
We'll have to see how people look at it. He is playing fast. He is playing hard, and he's improved greatly. It's very personal to him that he plays well for his team, and Josh will continue to work hard and play hard, and hopefully he'll be recognized at some point for that.
NC State now 4-4 coming up, the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, I think we left a lot of plays out on the field. We need guys that are accountable and do their job, but just as an offense, we left a lot of plays on the field, and we just got to be more disciplined.
This year, NC State is celebrating the 50th anniversary of Carter Finley Stadium. The greatest Wolfpack comeback in stadium history also happens to be the greatest comeback in ACC history. On November 26, 2011, NC State trailed Maryland 41-14 midway through the third quarter. But quarterback Mike Glennon and the Wolfpack wouldn't quit. and the ensuing barrage of points was epic. The Pack would score 42 unanswered points, including 35 in the fourth quarter, to post a memorable 56-41 victory over the Terps. The Dave Doeren Show continues after this.
The 2016 Nissan Altima. An IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. With forward emergency braking that could stop for you. Get to your local Nissan store today. Take on sudden stops. Get to Nissan, proud partner of NC State Athletics.
Darling, I was made for you. Darling, I was made for you. One thing that is true, darling, I was made for you. I was made for you.
Estimating Foxtrot Alpha Sierra Echo Lima. Delta 185, flight control, how do you copy?
Once you get out here, there's just one direction. Forward. One time. Now. And there's just one sound. You and us together, telling the world we're coming for you.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway. We'll take you wherever you go. Take you wherever you go.
Back here on the Dave Doeren Show, thank you so much for sticking around. He is the head coach of the Wolfpack, Dave Doeren. I'm Tony Haynes. D'Antonio Burnett, one of the all-time greats at NC State. They called him Thunder Dan for a reason when he was a linebacker for the Wolfpack, a hard hitter, physical player, very intelligent player, and now he is the strength conditioning coach at NC State. Coach, does he immediately earn the respect of the guys because he wore the uniform and he's kind of stood in their shoes?
Yeah, and the way he carries himself, the way he acts, as a leader, the way he comes to work every day with the same mentality. He's such a team guy, cares about everybody, but he's willing to put himself out there. He's a great husband and father too, and I think our players see that as well. They respect him a lot.
We mic'd him up. Thunder Dan. This was prior to the Louisville game last week. Take a look.
Can't ask for nothing better than this, man. Back-to-back 3 weeks. Good programs. Big time TV. Can't beat it. Tight ends, DBs. Remember, make sure you guys' undershirts are taken care of. All right, ready to roll. Contract. Relax. Contract. Everybody count for me. Relax. Contract. Point that toe. Relax. We're going to be going from the 40 to the 20. So we got some space to get warmed up and everything. Beautiful day, man. Beautiful day. No, man. Take advantage of the opportunities y'all have. I'm telling you.
It comes to an end at some point.
I mean, just look at the season. We're already week 8 of the season. Seems like we just started, man.
I know, that's what
How
I'm saying.
crazy is that?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Break it loud and proud. Discipline on 3. 1, 2, 3. Discipline. Have a great one.
What is it with the cleans from the ground, the heavy deadlifts and all that gives you for a defensive lineman the strength that you need for that position?
More than anything, trying to help those guys understand triple extension. Putting force into the ground. So in their position as a D lineman, they're coming out of a 3-point stance. So when they come off the line, they want to be able to extend, get full extension, apply force into the ground and put it on someone else. Hey, project ready! Project ready! We get W. We're back! On the move! Let's go!
This week's Pack Profile, we're with NC State starting quarterback Ryan Finley. Okay, Ryan, we're sitting here in the team meeting room, and over our shoulder we see guys like Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, and then if you think about Jacoby Brissett, Mike Glenn, this has really become quarterback you. Do you sense that since you've been here?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some big expectations to fill in here, and obviously those 4 guys, those are some big names, and all playing in the league at this point. So that's a pretty awesome thing to follow.
You grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, and I thought about players that come to play here in North Carolina, how difficult it is because of how hot it is. You don't have a problem with heat, do you?
Well, no, I'm used to it, but the humidity is definitely a little bit different.
So it's different?
Oh yeah, a lot different. I was pretty hot this summer, to be honest. I got pretty hot with the humidity for sure.
What's the hottest day you remember in Phoenix?
It definitely got to like 120 a couple times.
How can this be hotter than there?
It's just a different kind of hot. It's just an uncomfortable kind of hot. That's kind of just straight heat. Here it's kind of just like an engulfing, I don't know, you just feel sticky. You want to shower just immediately after you go outside.
But you get the October, November, this weather's.
Oh, yeah.
You can do this all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you love this. All right, so growing up in Phoenix, Arizona, great golf courses around there. You play golf?
A lot of golf courses. Play a bunch of golf, yeah.
And you love it. I mean, it's a great place to play. Have you played since you got in here?
I played all summer. Yeah, me and Woody, we went out a bunch.
What's the biggest difference in golf courses?
From here and there?
Yeah.
It's a little bit softer.
Yeah.
You got to play a little bit harder here.
Yeah.
In Phoenix, it'll roll on the greens.
Well, quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, so this is the point of the show where we hit you with a little bit of trivia. So I know you like golf, so we'll factor that in as well. But here we go. Who's the greatest quarterback of all time?
Greatest quarterback of all time is Tom Brady.
Okay. First of all, you missed the first one because it's Peyton Manning.
It's arguably they're both the 2 greats.
Okay,
they're both the GOATs.
No, I'm with you. Definitely the GOATs, because if you look at wins, Super Bowls, all that sort of stuff, rings, I got you.
At the end of the day, quarterbacks are they're measured off of wins. But I know what your argument is.
Yeah, it is what?
That when he got hurt, Matt Castle went 11-5, and so.
I'm just pointing that out.
They had a better team to say.
There you go. Greatest golfer of all time.
I don't watch a bunch of golf, but I'd have to say Tiger.
Tiger Woods.
Just in this era, I think he revolutionized the game.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to agree. Typically, I would say Jack Nicklaus, but Tiger revolutionized the game, and he's my son's favorite golfer for that matter. Who's the greatest athlete to ever play a sporting event? Greatest athlete to ever play a sporting event?
Greatest athlete to ever play a sporting event?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Who
people would say Muhammad Ali. People bring up names like Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, all those sorts of guys. But I mean, if your favorite sport is football, is your favorite sport football?
Yeah, favorite sport is football.
So who's the greatest football player of all time?
The greatest football player of all time? Everyone would probably say Jerry Rice. Maybe. I'm not sure.
For his position, Jerry Rice
is the best receiver of all time, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Not just because of longevity.
Yeah.
But because of work ethic, because of the statistics and everything.
Everything about it, yeah.
So growing up in Phoenix, you're a Phoenix Cardinals fan?
Mm-hmm.
So saying Jerry Rice, I mean, he's the enemy, right?
Yeah, he's definitely the enemy. Yeah, the Niners and the Seahawks, don't talk about them.
At all?
No.
You can't?
No.
Growing up a Seahawks fan, there's another former NC State guy, Adrian Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You a big fan of his?
Big fan of Adrian Wilson. My dad's had season tickets for probably 23 years, and he had an Adrian Wilson jersey. I have probably a Kurt Warner. I have Larry. Anquan Bolden was huge. So, yeah, a big Cardinals fan.
No, absolutely incredible. Well, man, I'm telling you what, there's a lot of State fans that are excited to have you here all the way from Phoenix by way of Boise State, and keep doing your thing. Be the GOAT here.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. NC State starting quarterback. Pack Profile with Ryan Finley.
Now a look at the NC State record book. The last NC State player to lead the ACC in quarterback sacks was also the first player in the history of the league to become the #1 pick in the NFL draft. As a junior in 2005, defensive end Mario Williams paced the ACC in sacks with 14.5. Also that year, Williams had 24 tackles for loss to lead the conference in that category. The Dave Doeren Show returns in a moment.
The 2016 Nissan Altima. An IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. With forward emergency braking that could stop for you. Get Get to your local Nissan store today. Take on sudden stops. Get to Nissan, proud partner of NC State Athletics.
Estimating Foxtrot Alpha Sierra Echo Lima. Delta 185, flight control, how do you copy?
Once you get out here, there's just one direction. Forward. One time. Now. And there's just one sound. You and us together, telling the world we're coming for you.
Darling, I was made for you.
When my heart was failing, these are the hands that used the latest technology and research to save my life.
These are the eyes of my UNC Rex Heart and Vascular team who saw a solution for me when others did not.
These are the minds, hand-selected for their expertise, that saved my wife's heart when she was out of options.
And we are the hearts
that beat strong.
Because of UNC Rex.
Now from the Dave Doeren Show, it's time for the Coca-Cola calendar. NC State returns to Carter Finley Stadium next Saturday, and it will be a night game against Florida State. 7 p.m. is kickoff time. We'll hit the air with pregame coverage on the Wolfpack Sports Network at 5 o'clock. And don't forget, on Wednesday night is the Dave Doeren Radio Show. It airs on the Wolfpack Sports Network from 7 to 8 p.m., and it originates from the Backyard Bistro in Raleigh.
Ninth game scouting report for the NC State Wolfpack. We're going to be looking at the Florida State Seminoles coming here to Carter Finley Stadium. And whenever that happens, you know, there's the magic of Carter Finley when the Seminoles come to town. And we're going to look at a couple things. First of all, we'll look at their offense. Everybody talks about running back Dalvin Cook, and you got to know where he is at all times. Well, the play we're going to look at really talks a lot about what their offense does, especially with their outside wide receivers. They're explosive wide receivers, but also the running back Dalvin Cook, how you have to key on him at all times. We have what we consider a spread formation. We've got a tight end that is offset off the line of scrimmage, but your standard basic spread formations, two sets to each side, 2 receivers to the right, 1 receiver and a tight end to the left. We got Dalvin Cook in the backfield. The one thing I want you to see in this route is, first of all, you have Dalvin Cook, who they're not even going to play fake to him. We got Miami here, not even play faking to Dalvin Cook. He comes inside to essentially help protect. But the backers, they're always aware of them at all times. They're cushioning up, looking for number 4 to see if he's getting the ball. You got to know where he is. If they don't hand it to him, they're probably going to throw it out the back door. But here's the thing. You got receivers. Number 3, Jesus Wilson, and number 15, Travis Rudolph on the outsides. We've got basically what we call a Frisco is what it's called in fast break terms. They will call that Frisco as well. But basically 2 deep slants or deep posts and the flat routes. And of course, here we see number 3, Jesus Wilson, with over the top that post route. The one thing you see here too is the fact that these receivers, they're tough guys. They're going to go out and they're speed merchants. They're going to run down the field, be quick, but they don't mind taking a hit, especially over the middle. So you see their speed, but also notice the fact that number 4, Dalvin Cook, you got to be aware of him at all times. Now on the defensive side of the ball, this is where Florida State notoriously has made their hay when you talk about putting pressure on the quarterback, talk about making plays, being opportunistic. They've got, 6 interceptions on the season, so they've been very opportunistic. Got one corner that's got 5 by himself. But when we look at this defense, the main guy we're going to look at here is number 44, defensive end, DeMarcus Walker. Now, interesting on this zone play that we're going to show you is the fact that DeMarcus Walker basically doesn't make the tackle, but he does make the play, and here's why. When you talk about zone running plays and trying to fit up and block these guys, They're notorious for hitting the quarterback and making interceptions, but when you're trying to run the ball, that's actually when they're at their best. You have defensive end DeMarcus. He stymies the right offensive tackle, gets pressure up, okay, and then he's able to come off of that and move laterally. Now, the safety does come in and come across and be able to make the play, which is a good play, but you see DeMarcus Walker there to clean up, and a lot of jerseys to the football. They have a lot of speed, but it starts with a guy like DeMarcus Walker, number 44. You got to know where he is. You're going to have to put a body on him, and oh yeah, when he separates, you got to stay with him at all times. Florida State Seminole defense, pretty good. And that is our scouting report. Game 9, Florida State Seminoles.
All right, Mark, thanks for that scouting report. And this we know, Dave, your team is capable of playing at a very high level. And when that happens, the Wolfpack is capable of beating any team in the country. But for that to happen, how important is it going to be moving forward now to get that offensive balance back?
That's critical. I mean, our identity offensively is to be able to play with tempo and have balance. I mean, those are the two things that we talk about first and foremost. And you can't play with tempo if you're not able to get first downs. You know, you can't do that. So we've got a lot of work to do there, you know, coming off of 3 games against top 10 teams and not feeling real good about ourselves. And we got to just stay with the process, look at ourselves, look at our schemes, talk to our players, and get them back playing the way they're capable.
And next up is Florida State. The Seminoles were on the verge of knocking off Clemson Saturday night, but the Tigers came back, won at 37-34. But Dalvin Cook for the Noles had 169 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. What does it take to contain an elite back like that?
He's a great player. You know, you got to leverage the ball properly. You got to get off blocks, and with him, you got to really wrap tackle because he can run through arm tackles like nobody.
All right, Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Florida State, NC State next week, and of course, we'll be right here for a recap. See you then.
The Dave Doeren Show has been presented by Coca-Cola. Any down can be the one that changes the game. So try the play where you go big on refreshment. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. By North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering and empowering the people and communities we serve. Your Carolina Ford dealers. Find a great deal on your perfect Ford. Make a connection today at your Carolina Ford dealer. And by Delta, official airline of NC State Athletics.